आंटी जी लिसन टू मी, योर पॉडकास्ट इज गे. आपके पॉडकास्ट को मर्द पसंद है. Hello and welcome to As Usual.
That was a good moment. I love it.
My name is Abbas and with me in the studio is my co-host Urjita.
जो कि मर्द नहीं है.
And with us, joining us for this particular episode is a stand-up comedian, writer, overall fun person who you must have heard if you have been checking out the IVM network. He's been around for a long time. Please welcome Navin Noronha.
Yes, मुझे दर्द नहीं होता. I've been waiting on this since she said, but yeah, I've been wanting to do this movie since you said that this is a show that you're doing. I'm like, I want to discuss Dostana because it's a very pivotal point in my life.
You wanted to discuss
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the thing. When people saw the calendar entry, they were like, "Oh, so cliche. You're calling Navin for Dostana." I'm like, dude, it was his choice.
Because even I was thinking so
Yeah.
cliche you're calling Navin for Dostana.
Yeah, and most of the movies that I wanted to cover, you all covered in different aspects. Like Hum Aapke Hai Kaun with
Right,
Akash. and
right.
Did you
DDLJ.
like it or not?
Hum Aapke Hai Kaun,
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
The movie was pivotal. I hate Hum Saath Saath Hai. Hum Aapke Hai Kaun was like everything that worked for the franchise. That filmy the family universe.
yeah.
You know?
Don't go around in circles.
FCU.
Did you like it or not?
Hum Aapke Hai Kaun I liked. Yes,
Yes.
it's Madhuri's
Okay,
fucking
I
great in
also
that.
liked it. I'm not saying it was bad.
Oh, Madhuri's from the ooh scene to
Yeah.
the skate scenes and like the toughy scenes. I love everything. It's kind of like what happens with Hum Aapke Hai Kaun, even though it's corny and it's like whatever, bade bete ke sath shaadi karega to it's very like, but then the scenes are iconic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're directed in a way which is like, oh, I remember this. If you say an umpire hat wearing dog, you're like, oh, that's the scene, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Hum Saath Saath mein aisa kuch feel
Actually,
nahi
yeah,
karna.
there's nothing iconic there.
Yeah.
Apart from ABCD.
Exactly, which is like cringe iconic.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So that's why.
But we're talking about Dostana today,
Yes.
2008.
Yeah.
I mean, you're closer to my age, so
How old are you? wait.
I'll be 35 by the time
I'm-
this.
yeah.
A week later, I'll be 35 when this episode comes out.
With low BP.
With hopefully with low BP.
Yeah, and I'll be turning 32 in August. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So 2008, Dostana, peak of Dharma Productions,
Yeah.
where they seemed to be doing everything right, and this movie was known for one particular thing, which was its main plot, which was supposed to be two men living together who are supposedly homosexual, but they're
Yeah.
not.
But enough about I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Let's talk about Dostana because they literally lifted the gay angle
premise,
from Chuck and Larry. Yeah.
So before we have to take a short break before we get into the meat of the episode. You said something before we started for our social media bite where you said it's special but not special.
Yeah.
So general overview. Are you warm on this movie? Or are you angry about this movie?
I'm warmly angry about this movie. Let me just say that.
Okay.
I went to just to give you context because we'll come back after the break and discuss it.
yeah.
I watched this movie first day first show with my church gang. Okay.
Oh.
So that should give you enough to ponder over what will happen next.
Very very
Were you
interesting.
angry because you wanted to let them know ये भी हो सकता है, and after watching it you're like ये वाला नहीं होना चाहिए.
Exactly,
ये नहीं होना
because then
चाहिए.
the word Dostana around that time
Right,
became
yeah.
a bad slang
Euphemism,
euphemism
yeah.
for gay people. So whenever I was expressing myself in a certain way because I was very theatrical or dramatic in the church, they'd be like Navin ka Dostana chal raha hai. If I was
man.
so that became the punchline of the whole thing. But there was also learning from the film, I feel.
Okay.
Which we'll talk about
We'll come to that, yeah.
when we come to that. Yeah.
Urjita, you said you powered through this film.
Yeah. So for the first 10 minutes, I was like, hey, yeah, this friendship and all is nice. This is such a nice. ये तीनों finally like we get to see girl and boy being friends without the creepy कि ए मेरे को इसको पटा रहा है. And I was like, hey, this is great. And then I was like,
Like 1
Maybe.
hour later.
yeah, 1 hour भी नहीं, 20 minutes later. So many. Oh my, there's harassment. There is just male harassment. There is just like the everything that I thought was going right about the movie. They're like, no. We are
Yeah.
coming back. I hated it, but yeah.
Wow, okay. Okay, so we'll get to the meat of the episode right after this break. But before we take a break, if you're watching this on YouTube, please press the subscribe button, press the like button, share this episode with someone who you think will like it. If you're listening to this as an audio podcast, please rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And audio listeners, stick around till the very end. We have a special segment only for the audio listeners called Alternate Endings. Although I think any ending than the way this movie ends
Yeah.
would have been a better ending. But we'll come to that. So yeah, let's take a break and we'll see you right after this. And we're back on Has It Aged Well with Urjita and Navin. Navin, Dostana 2008, directed by Tarun Mansukhani.
Yeah.
You're someone who identifies as a openly gay person.
Yeah.
Were you out in 2008 when the movie came out?
To myself, yes.
Okay.
but not to the world, okay? Because that movie's USP was just that, right?
Right.
So like India's first ever mainstream movie that handles the topic of
Right.
homosexuality.
So I looked into this.
Yeah.
I was like, did they keep the part where they're not gay secret? But they didn't. The trailers told you the premise.
Yeah, because that
yeah.
the from the trailer ka look only is like that munda sa that
Right,
tune begins,
yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
मैं gay नहीं हूँ, अरे मैं भी नहीं हूँ, लेकिन
yeah.
लड़की है, whatever,
Yeah.
room घर दो room है अपने पास. That's the premise from the trailer only.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's okay, let's see how it, because and then Dharma Productions and Karan Johar is involved in it, so I was like, okay, and if you've seen Kal Ho Na Ho, you've seen the breadcrumbs for a while.
Kanta Ben, yeah.
Kanta Ben was the first inclination, and by all means, a lot has been said about Karan Johar, but I was like, if he's somebody who identifies from the community, if he can't say it out loud, then maybe this movie can be a love letter to the idea of like living your queer life, and it's in Miami, so it doesn't have any Indian connotation, so it's away from all of this, and he can do it.
Right.
And if you've seen The Romantics, the documentary,
yes.
YRF was shifting towards telling modern love stories, right? But steeped in Indian traditions
Of course,
only.
yeah.
So that's where the movie for me failed.
Okay.
And I personally feel that the movie should have ended with the whole Kirron Kher angle, where she leaves and she's like pulo palo Kher, and then she just leaves. That was a perfect end to the movie, because then that arc is solved.
Correct. Yeah.
Then Bobby Deol comes in and then becomes about like deceiving usko.
Yeah.
That was
Then it
very
just-
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was looking for this. I was like, I remember that the film sort of escapes from the whole idea of making homosexuality acceptable. So I was at least looking at, does it comment on masculinity?
Yeah.
Okay, does it at least
Yeah.
take back the fact that male ego is a thing? But it doesn't. Like an hour into the movie, it's just three guys fighting for a girl,
Yeah.
trying to one up each other. So I was like, this is again the same thing.
And whenever they have to camp it up, like they're like hum gay hai, Sam.
Right.
मैं हूँ.
Yeah, yeah.
And then suddenly like the guy who's checking if they are legit gay couple,
Yeah,
he comes to
yeah,
the party
yeah.
at the house, and suddenly he's on like
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not how we function.
And
like
that guy is also creep ki main checking karne aaya. I'm here to check how gay you are. And like that's not how you check.
First of all the
He's
white
check.
actors in the film are shit.
Bad,
Are
so
horrible.
bad.
Yeah. Even like the gay intern that Priyanka Chopra has next to her at all
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
His whole job is like, he's so hard. Who's he? That's his whole fucking role.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But I will give credit to Boman Irani for capturing the essence of a M character, which is like very like I'm like this this whole Vogue editor in chief character.
He's playing Meryl Streep from
Because
Devil Wears Prada, yeah.
I know queer men like that, like
Right.
who have worked with, who have been bosses at some level,
Right.
and they're very much like that. There's like a flair to them, and that kind of drives their personality also. So props to them for capturing that, but then the movie doesn't go anywhere with it. And if you haven't noticed, after the interval, the movie forgets the gay thing till they kiss in
Exactly.
the end.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like they had two movies going on.
Yeah,
Essentially, was what happening.
Which is also what I thought. It felt like the first half was written by somebody mature, and the second half was written by uska 15 saal ka bhai.
Yeah.
If not
was-
mature, at least someone who through jokes is trying to get something new out
Exactly.
there, which we hadn't seen. But Navin, if I can come, you want to say something?
No, yeah.
I want to rewind a little bit. What is your perception of Karan Johar in general? Because I'm very fascinated by the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think he's a smart guy. He's ace producer, has changed the face of Indian cinema in the last couple of years. For whatever reasons, he doesn't want to come out with his identity. That's his choice, sure.
Yeah.
But
He'll do it when it's convenient for him.
so that's what I have a problem with. My thing is not just him and his personal life and his personal preferences. I think every time Karan Johar can take a stand against something, he chooses not to and plays the safe route.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He's such a shrewd producer, but still he wants to portray this gossipy auntie image by doing Coffee with Karan, where now it's just every question is, who are you sleeping with and who are you going to marry?
On gunpoint.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I see. I've voiced my opinions a lot about this. So in the queer community, there's two chains of thought, right? Some of us who are on the younger side, who have been living our truths for the longest time, have been like, just say it, man. Like you are in the industry where we all. I know so many actors who are just on the DL doing shit. Okay,
Right.
like I know them, but then they're not coming out, and I'm like, that's your prerogative, of course. But why won't you take that step? Because then that can inspire so many people, right?
Right.
Like we always speak about, we don't have Ellen here, we don't have an Elton John here, we don't have all these like Neil Patrick Harris here. So there's a reason, because the societal conditioning has been so,
Of course,
so
yeah.
tough. That's where the second chain of thought
Nobody in
comes in.
America will turn up at Ellen's house and lynch her. Like that is very much a possibility.
Correct.
Yeah.
While we know where Karan Johar lives on Carter Road, right? So like that's where so that's where I think he comes in because he's a part of that conventional family, which
Correct.
is so traditionally Bollywood,
Yeah.
and it's so like, even if they're like, I do this bit in my joke in my show also, where like every Indian parent wants you to be gay in their own premises. Like they'll accept you, but like don't do this outside kind of mentality, right? So I think that is just amplified for him because the entire life has been under the radar since he was fucking young, right? He was aiding with like apna DDLJ. So his life has been out there, and I understand that pressure also. But as you said, like if the chance is there for you, like Honor does, right? Like Honor is queer.
Yeah, exactly.
And my brother Nikhil, like he's right now struggling to make a movie about a gay soldier. That's where. So then you see the contrast, right? Like Honor is struggling to make a movie about a gay soldier, while Dostana Part 2 is in talks, right? So that's what I'm talking about. That's where our country is, and that's where the mentality also is, right? Like that's the same reason why my solo show will have 50 people turn up, while somebody who's straight and a macho Delhi boy will have hundreds and thousands of people turn up. It's just that. It's simple as that. And Karan Johar knows that. So he's obviously not going to come out till that, as he said, like it's not convenient for him. When it works out, it works out. You know. So for the roast, when they are doing back to back like anal sex jokes on him, nobody said anything, right? So it's just like that.
Yeah, and I feel like even the only time Karan Johar has showed like a proper I'm maybe not like using the right word, but like a homosexual who seems normal, like you know कि ऐसा effeminate जबरदस्ती नहीं है कि मतलब हमारे तुम्हारे जैसा, और उसकी nobody is looking down upon his story is when Kapoor and Sons में फवाद खान का character, and that too like of course you know we can give props to him for that, but वो भी उसने काफी time बाद किया जब भी already ऐसे movies बन चुके थे. So like again, like we already.
And also props to the actors. Like the entire cast is some Rajat Kapoor and Fawad Khan about nuanced actors. So I'm pretty sure like I've worked with trans actors also behind the scenes on certain aspects. They have told me ghastly stories about how they treat trans sex scenes, about identity and everything. And there's like big names. I won't take names, but big names who are from legacy directors, families and all, they don't have any consideration for how to deal with these characters. And that's when my heart sinks, because then I'm like, you have so many people like Ghazal Taliwal who wrote Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To Aisa Laga. She's a trans writer, right? She's taken that onus of like, I'm going to get the emotions out. Whenever someone says like, why can't somebody play a gay role or trans role? It's because you're doing it for the brownie points. You're not doing it for telling that humane story. And that's where it hurts. So Fawad Khan, I think props to him mostly, because they must have fought back. I'm pretty sure there was a point where they must have been like, enough of this shit, enough of this flailing hands, enough of this like, you know, every guy is fuckable. All of that is not happening. You have to at some point look at queer people from the perspective of empathy. And if not empathy, like as people, man, like we just live, we exist. We pay taxes the same way. So what is like, so I got like really riled up certain points in the movie also because of the same fact, because that code switch that they do is so like every time wherever I've gone out, if I've been too flamey, so to say, they've been like, control it. My family, myself, my mom has been like, what is with your hands, control it. So for our entire life we've been told to like not do that, and then a movie comes and justifies that. It makes me angry, right? It makes me angry, but is a big but. I feel the way they handle the Kirron Kher angle is really beautiful.
Right, correct.
Yes.
I just feel like if like, and again props to Kirron Kher because she's a marvelous actor. The whole, because my mom's and my story is so interlinked with my coming out. It just feels like the perfect kind of recipe to make. If that was the focus of the story, the movie would have won so many good brownie points in my book. But they did not. They just went for the Bollywood angle.
I like how like for everything that Kirron Kher did initially, she was like, "मैं झाड़ फूक करूँगी, ये करूँगी," which is something that
too much.
we have heard. We have heard stories of parents actually doing that, कि झाड़ फूक करा के तेरे को straight बना देंगे.
In fact, my parents said that. They were like, if we just knew that you were queer younger, we could have taken you to some counselor and fixed you. Every gay person has gone through that. We're like, we could have found out what's the reasoning. I'm like, there is no reasoning, man. I just like men. So then I get that, where like, you know, so they have captured the fear of her mom. Even though like she's from London, she's hard, like again.
But she's so progressive in her own way, and I feel like for that simple reason, she's more progressive than all the characters combined. Because Priyanka Chopra also, she tries to take advantage of their gayat by she's like मेरा बहुत सारा तुम छमिया बन के उसको impress करो. I like, what the fuck is this? ये क्या है? I don't know. I was turned off. I was like, Priyanka, come on.
And that too, she was like, मेरे घर पे there's a gay couple living. Why don't you come? And he's like, I'm looking for a replacement for my editor-in-chief job. And she's like, you come to my house, and he's like, okay, I'll come. अरे there's an ulterior motive कुछ नहीं, इसको मतलब like इसको हवस इतना चल रहा है कि घर पे दो gay लोग हैं.
And she's like, वो बाद में दिखा है कि अभिषेक I forgot his name, character's name, Sam. He's like, Sam ने हाँ कर दिया है, please guys don't make a scene. वो उन्हीं को gaslight कर रही है. And like ये क्या है? Like what exactly do you want them to do? और ऐसा भी नहीं, दोनों single gay लौंडे नहीं, वो couple है ना तेरे लिए. तो तुम ऐसे कैसे बोल रही हो कि नहीं तुम उनको थोड़ा come on बहलाओ ना, फुसलाओ ना, do something. ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है. She was using them as props, and that is what I really hated. That is why in contrast to that, Kirron Kher's acceptance was like much normal.
Yeah,
like,
and I also like the fact that Dharma made an in-joke about the fact that the Jaya Bachchan song that's played in Kabhi Khushi Gum, which is this traditional society, like a rich Indian family, they used that in this completely new context where she's accepting her gay son. So I thought that is like, क्या बोलना चाहिए, like sucking your own dick done the right way.
They have also used that in Love Stories, Kiara Advani.
Oh yeah, correct. Yeah, when she's having an orgasm.
Yeah.
But let's just quickly run through the plot of the film. So the film revolves around 20 minutes in. Sam and Kabir, who are for some reason really rich.
Sam and Kunal.
Kunal? Oh yes, Kunal.
What is with you and the name Kabir?
I don't know, have I used it before?
Yeah, Kabir, जो Kabir Khan था, उसको
yes.
kept calling him Kabir Singh. Sorry, Kabir Baby, you kept calling him Kabir Khan, yes. Kabir Singh.
I apologize to all the Kabirs out there.
Yeah.
So Kunal and Samir are a photographer and what's Samir's job? A nurse. Which again is a really bizarre thing.
They do all like you have a girly job, and there's a funny part. Okay, when they introduce his character, this is his first day on the job. He's eating a yogurt, and the old guy is like, "Why are you being a male nurse or whatever?"
You could have been a doctor.
And this girl comes and opens the curtain, and she's like, "Oh, I need my sponge bath, bro. Sponge bath किसको चाहिए पता देखो."
80-year-old.
इसको हिलना नहीं होता शेर से. ये आके मेरे को ऐसे नंगा मेरे को निला दो please.
She doesn't say I need a sponge bath. She says I need a sponge bath.
That's how Marathi asks for dal bath. Then they're like, varan bath,
So they're struggling and they're looking for a place to stay. They find a house that they like, but there's a catch. There is a Sindhi auntie who owns the place.
Mukherjee, I love her. She's like
she's really that whole auntie cut scenes to her as in Marilyn Monroe costume and all. Funny as well.
Auntie, you drive me crazy.
Which is so similar to the background music of मैंने प्यार क्यों किया. Doctor.
Wow, okay. So she has a condition कि baby Baba log cannot stay. Only baby log can stay because her niece stays there, who's played by Priyanka Chopra. And so this is my biggest grouse with the film is then they say कि हम लोग baby लोग ही हैं, which is equating being gay with being effeminate. And especially Abhishek Bachchan's character, where he's narrating this whole story of how I met John's character.
First of all, horrible acting by both of them.
He's playing the quote-unquote woman in that whole sequence. So that was my biggest thing, that it did not shun the idea that gay men can be men. Why do you have to be effeminate?
Even says no, like how do I act gay? Like think like a woman.
Think like a woman. Oh my God.
Be a man, but think like a woman.
And
like,
when
that's what we all do.
It's very important when he says that, think like a woman, be a woman. They get harassed also like a woman. Literally 10 minutes into that scene.
Let's just finish up a lot because then I want to talk about how the movie experience was.
We find out Priyanka works at Verve magazine, where her boss is played by Boman, who is this like Navin mentioned M character. And he's leaving and he's going to be replaced by someone, we're not told who, and surprise, it's Bobby Deol.
And Lord Bobby returns.
Yes. And then Bobby also falls for Priyanka Chopra, so do Sam and Kunal, and then the next half of the movie is just a love quadrangle of them trying to win over what's Neha is her name. And I like that little part of the movie where they both are trying to sabotage Bobby Deol's chances with her, and then in the end she finds out that Kunal and Sam are not actually gay, and for a moment we feel like everything is going to go to shit, but then they turn everything around and they make everything all right in the climax by doing this one thing, which we'll come to.
I want to talk about that in length, but we'll get to that.
And first of all, I would like to address, why is Bobby there looking like a semi-melted slab of butter?
And
is that a compliment?
उसका बाल ऐसा he's got an emo baby look.
वो डोरेमोन के पॉकेट की तरह दिख रहा है यार. ऐसा semi-circle कैसे तुम दिख सकते हो?
Was this Bobby Deol's comeback? He hadn't been around for a while, I think, and then.
I mean, everything that he does nowadays is comeback only. They're like, Bobby Deol still still around, guys. He's a DJ now. Sometimes he's an ashram.
Yeah.
This is the movie where you realize that, it was Bobby's hair all this while.
Exactly.
We were in
Even
love
his
with.
suits are like, well, the only one thing that they are like, क्या tacky है, कि Armani है, Armani के लिए Armano पे आप पानी फेर लोगे. His suits are tacky. They're all like weird, glossy, fucking cheap. And that definitely is Karan Johar's wardrobe, because all of Karan Johar's suits are tacky. They're all borrowed, fucking like hand-me-down suits. Have you seen it? When Bhavesh Irani is a fellow comic, he does a joke about calling Baba suit. That's what Karan Johar wears. He wears Baba suit. And that's a Sindhi thing, I think.
Maybe, yeah. So that's the plot of Dostana. What do you want to say about the experience?
So we went the plan was we had a church gang, and it's a youth group, right? When we were in the church, I knew I was queer by the time I was 14, but I didn't come out to a lot of people. And when I was 16, 17, I joined a church group as a means to subdue all these queer feelings, so I could be more involved in the church. Okay, it's a full thing. One priest told me, "Why don't you join priesthood?" And I considered that for a long time. So I would go to mission camps. I would go to. So today, when I put out a video about like Christianity and people are calling me all these things, they don't understand that I've been
seen it from the inside.
I've gone entrenched in the system so hard, and then I've come out of it. So I know exactly what place I'm talking about. But this whole church group ka thing was like, we were all youthful, and we were like, once in a while we'll go and watch a movie also. So the plan was.
What other films did you watch as a group?
Back then, 2008 में और क्या आया था? Like the whole 9-10 period we had watched.
But
like,
you would watch anything and everything.
We watched Skyline, that horrible Gatey Galaxy में जाके we watched Skyline.
Okay.
The second Munna Bhai movie, like randomly whatever was around.
Okay, got it. So there was no this thing you have to watch movies with messages or anything.
No. It was just like a bunch of youth kids who were like, we have some expendable income, and we would always mostly go to Gatey Galaxy or like the Mira Road Cinemax, which was 55 rupees in the morning. So that we would like make.
Got it, yeah.
So the whole church gang came, and like my friends are there with me and everything. And when the movie starts playing, I'm like, I have no real expectations of the movie. I'm just like, it's a Bollywood romp. Let's go through it. But as the movie progressed, like they were only laughing at the scenes where while what you were saying was happening, where
the effeminate,
where it turned it on too much, and like for example, changing room, they're fighting, but they're also in awkward positions, so it's like a blowjob scene, and so they were laughing at that. Straight boys do this thing, तूने क्या दिया? तू good है, like they're doing all of this. Okay, so it became a whole thing,
right?
And my heart sank a little bit, but then like you had to go back home knowing that maybe you can't come out this group,
exactly,
because this is how they look at homosexuality. So it was a big deterrent in that regard, and then after that, as I said, like if we're doing like Easter party nights or like Christmas party nights and we're chilling, and if we were drunk and after some time somebody would pass out on the bed and the other person would pass out next to them, they're like, let's take photos. They go, then they put on Facebook ki inka Dostana chal raha tha. So it all became a very derogatory thing. So that when like my whole angst with Karan Johar began over there. I'm like, whatever his intention was, it's derailed the entire movement majorly. Something that it took Badai Do to come back to. You know what I'm saying? Like Chandigarh Kare Ashiki also was not all there, but Badai Do was like a benchmark in how to make a good queer film.
Yeah.
But it took all these years from 2008 to 2021 is when it took to unravel that much garbage,
I think at least today when they make a film about such issues, they have at least one or two scenes which are genuinely heartfelt. Whereas with Dostana, it almost felt like we can't be genuine for too long. We have to put in a joke.
Yeah, like for example, even when, as I said, unka friendship ka jo scene chal raha tha na, there's an intimacy which is very casual.
Yes.
Because starting में कोई question नहीं कर रहा कि वो दो room में क्यों रह रहे हैं and everything, but then by the third act they're both chilling in the same bed and vibing.
Right.
So if they had tapped in again on those, there's so many humane moments in the movie, but they fucked it up, man. It makes me angry.
Yeah. Like वो जाने क्यों में भी वो scene है जिसमें अभिषेक बच्चन is feeling scared and then he goes to sleep beside Ron. I loved it so much. I was like, man, if only you could have shown that, they could have, I feel like, changed the whole outlook of the movie by just adding this one little thing ki both of them who are like, they have to pretend to be gay for the room, but then later on they are also homophobes.
Yeah.
But then because of like, living together and because of, maybe we could have shown them, meeting other gay people and then going to the clubs and all, ki, acha, this is a gay queer party, attending queer parties, and then वो sensitize होते कि अच्छा नहीं, ये गलत नहीं है.
Which is what they did in Now Pronounced with Chuck and Larry. If you see that movie, the first part is about them like for license and for legal reasons, Kevin James and Adam Sandler end up becoming a gay couple. But again, and they of course like Kevin James and Adam Sandler movies are the Dostana of fucking America, and they do
frat boy movies.
Like fucking Rob Schneider comes and then they're like, yo, ye kuch aur hi bakwas, because Rob Schneider is going to be in a thong with his ass out. So you watch the movie, lot of like dick jokes, ass jokes and everything. But then it ends up becoming a little bit of an exploration about like how queer people also lead their lives. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. कि अगर उसमें जरा सा दिखा देता हो कि even though they are homophobic, gay, straight men who are pretending to be gay, that whole element where they're like, but men can be
friends.
Yeah.
They
men
can be
intimate
without
that judgment over it.
Correct,
And you're in
yeah.
fucking Miami, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. One thing I found quite funny is how they get the idea. They see a soldier. And he says this one line, everything was fine after Afghanistan, but then Iraq happened.
Yeah.
I thought that was very
Is
funny.
this where owner got his inspiration from?
Yeah, it's like honestly, like I'm gonna see his story. What is he up to?
Yeah.
But like American like the army and the don't ask don't tell policy also has been very detrimental to a lot of like queer soldiers. Like that whole Trump presidency, for example,
Yeah.
was so against giving
He
health
banned
benefits.
trans people from serving, right?
No, he first of all he went around banning benefits like health benefits for
Okay.
army supposed to fund their hormone therapy and their physical
Right.
examinations and everything. So he was like, we'll withdraw money from that, and then they were like, we don't need them in the army also, and then the whole movement became very like toxic. But they're still serving, dude. Like your country is fucking. First of all, that whole argument is very weird because irrespective of what your sexuality or your gender is, don't go killing people in different countries.
Yeah.
How about that? But if they are doing it for your building, then maybe treat them right. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll take a short break at this point, and when we come back, we'll talk about the controversial ending of the film. And I have a few opinions about Bobby Deol's character and
बस few में थक गए. अरे
we'll see you.
अब्बास जी.
See you on the other side.
हमारी
of
छाती
this
के
break.
बाल काबर हैं.
Hi, this is Cyrus Rogan Brocha, pyar se Rogues. I've come up with a brand new idea. It's a premium product called Club Cyrus Says. It's an offer open just for you. Let me tell you about the product. We've got exclusive Cock and Bull episodes just for you. That's right, just for you. That means others don't get to see it. Also, you get exclusive footage, extra bits, the uncut version of the interviews with celebrities. And these are huge celebrities, not small-time celebrities. Only the big guys come on the show. So you'll get the exclusive bits that nobody else gets. The extra tidbits, special stuff, uncensored stuff you don't want to put out. That's just for you. And for our audio listeners, you get special ad-free content and early access to interviews and sessions and podcasts which nobody else will get. You'll get it first. You're the first people. You're Neil Armstrong. You're Edmund Hillary. You're whoever discovered India. You're that. And by becoming an exclusive member of Club Cyrus Says, you get the power. We transfer the power to you and you become the producers and you will decide what content or what happens on that show. You are the masters and we are your... We can't use words like that. People who work for the masters, basically. So guys, get in. Special audio features include, I forget. I can't remember what the...
Sometimes if you're holding, don't be gay. It's like sometimes just like if you have the option, don't suck dick. You know, एक लौड़े ने gun मार
Okay,
दी.
I guess we're back. That was the great entry point after the break.
Shit.
Where-
If Navin
The whole-
if Navin
the-
sang
the-
a Punjabi song, it would be called Mundi ya to lavade na ke.
Wow.
Okay,
Urjita,
no.
you're obsessed with the word laude.
I don't know.
But like like all these songs like gay re and the problem is Marathi and Konkani make gay means to take. That's
Right.
pretty
Yeah,
much
of
like
course.
it's a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And but then like everything is like even remember
There's that song,
House-
आदमी हूँ आदमी से प्यार करता हूँ. हाँ.
हाउसफुल में like कि हम दोनों साथ में रहेंगे प्यार करेंगे.
Yeah.
Ritesh Deshmukh
I
has
feel
this
like
very
Ritesh Deshmukh.
annoying habit where he's like करेंगे. He does this. It is so annoying. He started doing this in Apna Sapna Money,
Yeah.
and he never stopped.
You never stopped, yeah.
I remember Sajid Khan also used to make the hell of a lot of homophobic jokes on his shows.
Of course.
And then of course he made it into a film called Houseful franchise.
Yeah.
But let's come back to Dostana. So directed by Tarun Mansukhani, and I looked into it. He was supposed to be the next rising star for
Yeah.
Dharma,
Yeah.
and he's only made one other film. Can you guys guess which one it was?
Kuchi Kuchi hota hai.
No.
No? That was a dog one.
It came out fairly recently, and when I say came out, it actually didn't even get a theatrical release.
Oh,
shit.
Dharma film only that did get
It was a Dharma
theatrical.
film, yes.
Did it do well on OTT?
No, but it was released on OTT, only on OTT.
Dude, I can't.
It was Drive. which was Sushant Singh Rajput's
my
last,
God.
not last movie, but last movie while he was alive.
Oh shit.
And Karan Johar famously hated the movie so much that
Yeah,
he didn't even want to put it out in theaters.
Oh,
So I don't know what went wrong because Tarun Mansukhani was the golden child of Dharma, but didn't pan out that way. So let's come to the more controversial aspects of the movie. Two things: the ending of the film, where everything is out in the open that they're not actually gay; they're two straight men,
Yeah.
and then yet Bobby Deol's character dares them to kiss
Yeah.
if they want him to forgive
Like,
them.
gay बनने का बड़ा शौक है ना.
Yeah.
But do
My
you
mom
think-
said the same thing to me.
I felt I mean he's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's like तुमको
mean-
इतना ही शौक है, the way he phrases it, तुमको बड़ा शौक है ना तो करो
Yeah,
फिर
but
ये.
that-
what we were trying to say that, you know, intimacy is okay. We were implying it like in a more subtle way. It's like, you know, करके दिखा.
That's what it seems like bullying.
Yeah.
Oh, you're two straight men, now fucking make out.
No,
and then,
but because they took advantage of that whole thing, no, just to like fool
And
her.
then
that's
the-
why he was mad at
the
them.
fucking
Yeah.
opposite of whatever the version of cherry on top is, cherry on the cake is, where he then
Biscuit on
turns
the bottom.
he then turns to Priyanka and like, मैं तो नहीं करता तुम्हारे लिए इतना
Ah,
सब."
yeah,
Yeah.
that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
And then in the end, they do this thing. I think a year later or 2 months later, whatever, where she asks them, "Okay, while you were pretending to be gay, did anything happen?" And then
Yeah.
they cringe. They're like, "Oh no."
And they cut back to the horrible kiss that they did.
Yeah.
And the kiss also, if you know, it was not, they didn't really kiss it.
Of
Like if you
course.
freeze frame it and watch it at 0.5 speed,
Yeah.
you'll see both their lips pointing downwards.
Oh really?
So they do the whole quintessential
Yeah.
Bollywood thing where they,
Of course,
like,
of course.
there's a trick to it. So they hold the neck, do the whole nose like this, so your lips are down, but it looks like you're making out from the camera angle. So they do the
You
whole kiss.
actually thought they kissed.
They did not kiss at all. It was
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe that's the one thing they
No,
actually.
then they would have shot it सामने सामने, no? फिर वो
Yeah.
all पूरा दिखाते हुए करते हुए.
they went like so.
Has there been a full-on
So many
man on man kiss
yeah,
in Bollywood?
in Love it's happened. The movie with Shiv Pandit and Sid Menon.
Okay.
Then अभी Modern Love में these two Ranveer Brar
But
and
that was also horrible.
yeah,
That was such a
yeah.
Ranveer Brar and Pratik Gandhi.
Pratik
Oh
Gandhi,
God!
yeah.
Like again, like some of the things like Bollywood puts out, I want to go back in the closet, man. I just want to I want to attend conversion therapy. If there's a successful one, tell me because I don't want to witness this. If this is what being gay means and this is what Hansel Mehta think being gay is,
Yeah.
please just go make scam, man. Just like this is a scam.
Yeah.
Whatever you're showing,
Yeah.
Ranveer Brar कैसा नमक अनुसार स्वाद check करो उसकी जबान के अंदर. What are you doing, dude? Like,
Yeah.
where's the passion? Like, where's the intimacy? They don't.
Right.
So what happens is like, you know, a lot of these actors get intimacy coaches. Okay. So, but they hardly hire anybody for gay sex scenes. Like
Exactly.
that.
How many of
Yeah.
these intimacy coaches are from the LGBTQ spectrum? Yeah.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
even if they hire a trans woman, they'll hire a woman to
Right.
help them
Yeah,
out with
yeah,
the feelings
yeah.
of like, you know.
So my only doubt with the whole thing is कि अगर तुमको गे सीन अच्छे से करने को नहीं आ रहा है,
Once more,
ठीक है?
Urjita?
तुमको अगर वो अच्छे से करने को नहीं आ रहा है, despite having an intimacy coordinator, so does that mean that you are actually enjoying the heterosexual scenes
Yeah.
a little too much? Because वो तो सही से हो रहा है आपसे, ये क्यों नहीं हो रहा है?
I think Abhishek से वो भी नहीं हो रहा था. I think if you see
Go ahead.
whatever, like any movie you've seen, like
Yeah.
even
He is only good in Guru and Yuva. That's it.
even in Yuva, I found him like Rani
Mama,
Mukherjee.
he's hating Rani
Rani Mukherjee is getting beaten up. Like that is like close to like abuse kind of thing. He's like he's doing that to her.
Yeah,
and she's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all of that.
And I think the one scene in which the intimacy works is because there's a Rahman song playing over it. So we're like, oh, looks
Yeah.
and sounds nice. But which reminds me that initially Priyanka's role was offered to Aishwarya Rai, but she thought that because Abhishek is going to be her real life husband, it might not be believable. So she turned this thing down. And initially it was going to
Of
be
course, that was a
Yeah, that
problem
was
with
the
the
problem.
movie.
Like marrying the tree was not a problem.
initially Saif and Abhishek were supposed to be cast in the leads.
Saif and Abhishek.
Yeah, instead of John.
Hmm.
And then John came along.
सैफ को 2 बार ऑफर मिला है यार, कपूर एंड सन्स में भी, and even then he denied
And also
it.
because he was one half of the whole Kanta Ben thing in Kalhona Ho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might as well.
and so he just kept saying, no, it is not because it's a homosexual character. I am very open.
Yeah,
I'm very open.
He went around and then even he played a role in Tashan, which is very gay in its own way. It's like,
I haven't seen Tashan. This is the second time someone's mentioning Tashan.
Yeah.
Tashan,
On our
Tashan's a very queer movie. If you watch
really?
it, it's a movie on steroids. Like, of course, there's like passion and whatever, but
Right.
like everybody's like dinchak. Like in their own little way, there's a little bit of queerness that's come to Tashan. Like it was very sold on visuals. views, and like very Baz Luhrmann-esque, like the Ladakh views and all of
Yeah.
that. So that's why I think it was I think Saif has only acted good in Omkar. Otherwise, like it doesn't remind me that he's done something iconic performance-wise.
Hey यार क्या कह रहे हो? तुमको ऐसा लगता है मैं act नहीं कर सकता?
You know, I have met Saif Ali Khan.
Oh, really?
And I gave no shits about it. It was like so because Sriram and I, we were working on an Audible project, and our director had to emergency like go away because of some family that happened, and then the writers, both of us, were stuck directing the episode, and the studio time was booked, so we could not do anything. Okay, so now Sriram and I taking turns, 3 hours in the studio, just going through the episodes, recording and directing also at the same time. So we got no time to eat. Okay, so at around 2:30 in the afternoon, there's one sandwich waiting for me in the cafe area of the studio. And I'm going there and I'm just really hungry, man. Sandwich ऐसे कुछ तो मंगाया था, I'm eating. Saif comes out, okay, from the neighboring studio. And he's staring at me. And I acknowledge, okay, Saif Ali Khan, like, but now I have fucking sandwich stuff. How do I say anything to you?
Of course.
But he's just like, what are you eating? I'm like, it's a sandwich. Wow, kahan se?
He said, wow.
Yeah, he said,
my god.
Yeah, is it good? And I'm like, yeah, it's a sandwich. I'm just eating it, like, power through it.
Yeah.
And then there was like a bunch of lackeys around him. They're like, why is he's interacting with you? Why? I'm like, just let me be. Man. I'm very hungry and I'm very tired. I don't give a shit about you. Man. So just ऐसा हो गया मेरे साथ.
You should have just told him कि sir मेरे पास एक homosexual character के बारे में script है सुनोगे क्या? You would have fucked up, right?
Yeah.
These Nawabs, I tell you.
Yeah. Even मैं Anadi to Kilari is so like over the top.
Oh yeah. We were discussing also Saif's expressions. They're like, oh my god, this guy, and which is why I was giving him so much credit for like pulling out this character who is like also like not like an alpha male, but also at the same time he is in touch with his feminine side. And I was like, this is great, but then later on I like.
So have you seen War? The Jackie, Tiger Shroff and
correct, of course, yeah.
So there is a lot of discussion
male
online.
Bonding, yeah. Even Gunde, Ranveer Singh and Arjun Kapoor, when it came out, it was like overtly like sexually like bro love and machoism and all that.
But there is no उनमें वो ऐसा फिर भी दिखाई देता है कि तू मेरा भाई है यार गले से लग जा. But it is not like कि मेरे से feelings की बात कर.
हाँ.
It is
more
not
famously,
that.
RRR got it right. Like it's been like the debate for the longest time that RRR, like the Ram Rahim character, whatever the names are, they have like an intimacy which is very unique, which is like bro bonding se beyond, where he's okay riding his crotch and all, where he's okay talking about feelings. Have you not noticed this? Like it's just like a lot of scenes where he's carrying him around.
But do you think Rajmouli consciously put it there?
No, of course not.
No, right?
No, but like I think he wanted to make a story about friendship which was really and that's what I'm saying. Like when I am with my straight friends, like with Akash for example, or with Josh, when they come to my Neil Baltazar for example, all my friends who are like my good friends, we just chill on a beanbag. Saath mein there'll be no like as gay men we are not out. Like we have seen enough penises. My whole point is just that by the virtue of me being on an app like Grindr, dicks are thrown at me at a rate of 5 dicks per hour. Okay, so I've seen enough. So your dick is not going to be out of the blue. It's not the magic pencil from Sanju's bag. It's not. Okay, so keep it in your pants. We are not out there for getting you. We are fine. We are just fine. Sometimes I have to reiterate it again and again. You know what I'm saying? Like even new inductees in the comedy scene have to be kind of briefed about this. You are gay. Just be careful.
And more importantly, they are comedians. So again, one unattractive thing about them.
Obviously.
So that's.
Wow. Okay, Urjita.
मैं अपने आप को भी बुला रही हूँ कैटेगरी में. ठीक है, मैं अपने आप को भी unattractive बुला रही हूँ.
This film was supposed to be a fashion trendsetter. Did you guys feel that way?
It was. That sari was so fucking overdone.
Right.
The silver sari.
Did you have any observations about Abhishek and John's styling sense once they pretend to be gay?
No, but I observed Bobby Deol styling when they chose to show him a little more metrosexual in his own way. So see, if you see John Abraham उसका contract में clause था कि मतलब your chaddi will be at 45-degree angle showing your butt crack at every given point, so you have to do that.
This he had to do everywhere.
Yeah, it was like कि मैं
every time.
and वो उठा रहा है और नीचे जा रहा है तो उसका बराबर साइज खरीदना लोडे. It's like
no, but I did notice that Abhishek's character starts wearing scarves a lot more once they pretend to be gay.
No, he was wearing scarf from the beginning.
From the beginning,
yeah.
Okay.
That was like one because he's like you cover most of whatever you have.
Right.
Let John do the display thing.
छाती के बाल, गले के बाल भी cover कर सारा.
Yeah, which brings us to the Chhati Ka Baal, the part of the movie where they
fashion sense. Okay, I want to finish that point because they gave Abhishek a lot of cargo pants. Urjita and I were discussing before the recording also that lot of cargo pants quintessentially they gave him because long legs and that's personal. And I like it. I feel their looks were really unique. Like they spoke to their personality. Like John had like he would wear a vest and have a t-shirt or a shirt pulled till here.
Right.
So it was really nice. I feel like they did set a fashion trend in that regard.
Okay.
and I really like the Desi girl sari.
The film looks really good. Like that's the
Yeah.
one thing I felt like they got.
I
right.
wanted to ask you guys one question.
Yeah.
At any point, did you feel uncomfortable when it is revealed that Abhishek and John reveal नहीं हो तो पहले से वो तो मर रहे होते हैं उस पे, ठीक है? And the thing is, there is a tone change the moment Abhishek is like कि okay, John Abraham अभी नहीं आ रहा आजा, ठीक है तो फिर मैं इसको लेके जाऊंगा. Did you feel? I felt like थोड़ा ऐसे weird and थोड़ा uncomfortable because I'm like oh man, she believes you, dude.
Yeah.
And he's doing this whole like boyfriend वाला thing, वो उसको memories दिखा रहा है. And I'm like, प्रियंका को थोड़ा तो लगा होगा नहीं सिर्फ हम दोनों के photos क्यों दिखाए जा रहे हैं? एक भी
she like this gay guy is very like into me. Yeah. I like
Yeah.
it. He's my best friend. He's my bestie. I'm
My
gonna
best
keep him.
friend.
Yeah. We have memory book.
Yeah.
Like she's one of those hags, you know.
Yeah.
That's a natural term. Fag hag is a natural term, which is your female bestie, straight female bestie, a gay person is called a fag hag.
Okay.
And so she's fully into that role. I think that was the dimension that they were writing it.
Okay.
They're like, oh, two gay guys, they trust me, and so they do a lot of. I don't know. I'm being Boman right now,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of that, you know, where she's like,
Yeah.
you know, she does that little bit of like,
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. I think a little, but the uncomfortable part where you said
Yeah.
the point where I felt most uncomfortable is when she goes for the changing thing, right? Where she's, I like this dress, I'm
Right.
going to change your room. ये गया उसके पीछे.
Yeah.
Don't do that. No, it's
Exactly.
equivalent to that scene where Govinda pretends to be blind and then Karishma Kapoor changes in front of him,
Right, yeah.
and then that Cheeti Pahad Chali whatever song begins after that. That's the problem, right? Like where you like
Catch them at their most
Yeah.
vulnerable.
Yeah,
Why
I wouldn't
would
say
you-
this is a deformity, but like she trusts you in a way where it's just like, you know, very
Yeah,
trusting.
it's-
And that's happened to me where like a lot of my female friends have changed in front of me, but they know that for a fact that I'm homosexual, right? But I still would be like, I'll leave the room. Like, you know, that's just general consensus ki, like
Exactly,
somebody
yeah.
changing, just don't go follow them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also the way, I don't know what it is, but उसको बहुत creepy दिखाया यार वो वाले
Yeah.
कैमरा like वो ऐसे जाती चेंज करने he's like
Yeah.
and I'm like ये ऐसी शक्लें मत बना अभी क्या कर रहा है तू.
Yeah.
तो एक तो वो एक था and also मेरा दिमाग कब फटा जब भी the whole reveal happens when John and Abhishek tell her कि actually हम sorry we are in love with you. Abhishek blames her. She's like come on, are you blind? तुमको समझ नहीं आया क्या?
Yeah.
कैसे समझ आएगा? How will she? Like imagine being so narcissistic that you're like these
Right,
two are gay
yeah.
but seems like they love
Yeah.
me too. ऐसा कौन करता
Are
है
you
यार?
blind with all the stereotypes you try to fulfill?
Yeah.
No subversion?
Yeah.
दिमाग नहीं तुम्हारे पास. You work in a fashion magazine. You couldn't
Yeah.
tell gays apart. Like what is?
तुम्हारा boss gay है यार.
Yeah. हाँ, now Chati ka hai. Let's discuss
Yeah, yeah.
the boss and Bobby Deol comes in.
So they essentially, what's implied in the movie is they make an alpha male into what they perceive as a gay
cuck.
man.
Yeah, as a beta cuck.
Yeah.
But also Bobby Deol also once he's introduced now, like if you notice, every time he's a little spotlighted and a breeze is blowing and he just like floats around Priyanka Chopra and he does this like squinty eye like
Yeah.
you. It's
But
so-
isn't that a lot of that just how Bollywood?
Yeah, but like they don't
Frames men.
they don't do that decision with Abhishek or John Abraham's
Right,
character. If you look at it's more like you know, like Priyanka is like her hair is blowing and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
very
yeah.
Miami skyline and like pink car and like very sexual. But his is only like you know there's a fucking tracking shot where he's in the
Yeah.
center and dream girl. Oh, Father
Why
Mamash.
did they make Bobby? I mean, I won't say ugly, but like thoda little.
Yeah,
less
they really
appealing.
like,
Why did they do it?
I have
Like
no
cut
idea.
his hair, or
I
maybe
actually thought he was looking good. I don't know. Is that a me thing? I don't
I
know
don't know. Nee, I'm not saying.
that he was ugly.
I'm not saying that he was ugly, but I'm like उसके बाल क्यों कटवा दिए? Like what are you trying to say कि देखो like ये तो इतने सुंदर होने के बावजूद भी प्रियंका went for this guy.
Yeah.
What is it that you were trying to achieve with that look? Because ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता ना. बॉबी ने बोला कि भाई बाल बढ़ाएंगे नहीं तो बढ़ाएंगे नहीं.
They're like की brief is ये magazine run करता है और उसको 5 साल का बच्चा है, so he has no time for grooming. So just go with that. What is? Yeah, but like I think what works in his favor, for his character's favor, at least, is that he's so dull that you find the other two interesting.
Interesting,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So when they're concocting all of that, I'm like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
get rid of him. Just-
Yeah.
First of all, in any show or series or movie or whatever, don't date your bosses. That's my like,
Yeah.
because then you have to keep working over there. No, just like, have you seen the show Looking on HBO?
No.
Yeah, that whole it's a gay show. If
Okay.
you want to see how gay intimacy is portrayed, real gay actors and directors have done the show. It's 2 seasons on HBO. into in a movie. Watch it. Jonathan Groff, Hamilton, famously.
Mindhunter.
Murray Bartlett, who's now on the Last of Us episode.
Okay.
From White Lotus also. Murray Bartlett.
Oh.
Great actors, and in that show they really show how queer intimacy works, but at the same time how it can cause strife between like relationships. So उसमें भी ऐसे है कि मतलब boss के साथ this guy gets in a relationship and then never gets better, man. It never gets better. Don't fuck your bosses. That's all I'm saying.
Do you have personal experience in this department?
No, so in my first office there was a boss in my department who was like whatever. His name was Mahesh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but on the Mahesh is like the name that kind of been a bane of my existence. My accountant is also called.
So why you would never eat at Mahesh lunch home also? Like no.
Yeah, I never eat it.
Fuck it.
Janta only for me. But the other team, which was like the development team, had a cute like Sindhi boss who was really cute. But I couldn't do anything. I was just like so I wouldn't say this. There's no way I come out not creepy. So for example, like so.
You're not endorsing this behavior.
No. So our office was in Marol. Okay, I'm just gonna. It's not a creepy thing. It's a cute thing. Okay. Wait. So I'll tell you what I used to do. For example, like our entire unit, the writer team was on one side of the office. So it's like a building, right?
Yeah.
So ये कमरा उनका है और ये कमरा हमारा है और हमारे कमरे में टॉयलेट है. तो I would just like walk on that team side just to have a look कि हाँ cabin में बैठा नहीं, and then just like go and pee and come back. I took a little extra step just to have a glance at him.
Okay.
I never approached him. I never did anything. I just like stalked him on Facebook a little bit.
Now, if his office just happens to be on the way to the washroom, that's not your fault.
Yeah.
It was not though. I went out of my way to the bathroom. I would be like, I'll pee a little harder if I just look at it.
जिस स्टॉकिंग से किसी का घर बसता हो वो स्टॉकिंग नहीं.
हाँ. वो स्टॉकिंग क्रिसमस प्रेजेंट होता है.
मैं going for that.
There's a scene where they take a dig at Tare Zameen Par, where the kid Veer is shown that his dad will go away and they play Meri Ma.
Yeah.
Which I realize Karan Johar has this knack of taking a dig at other films like
मुन्ना सर्किट गे.
There was a lot of pop culture references in the
in
movie.
Kuch Hota Hai, when she has to enact Rangila, she does this sexy dance where it's supposed to be vulgar and she's like Nangila.
It changes the meaning of that.
I had forgotten this. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, of course.
But even when like Abhishek is doing that whole, come on, Gabbar was gay. He's doing his whole stand-up routine. Okay, it's like who lives with so many men and says kitne aadmi the, and it's like okay,
which is so convenient that you don't make Jay and Veeru gay joke because your father is involved in that. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're just like you एक दूसरे के ऊपर ऐसे कर रहे हो क्या हाँ बता.
This was the 7th.
तेरी जीत मेरी जीत तेरी हार मेरी हार. What हार? शादी का.
By the way, did you know recently Samdesh Bhatia was interviewing Anurag Kashyap and he asked him, have you met Dharmendra? And he said, मैं उनके पास script लेके गया था एक बार एक 90s में, and he liked the script and he wanted to do the movie. But Sunny Deol told him not to do the movie because apparently Dharmendra's character dies in the end. And Sunny Deol was like, Deols don't die. That's like this thing in their this thing. That for any movie, no Deol shall die in the movie.
Wow.
Which is also why
and guess what is dying in the Deol family? The careers.
In Sholay also, Amitabh's character dies, not Dharmendra's.
Yeah.
So it's apparently like a motto they have or whatever. Weird thing. Dostana was the 7th highest grossing film of 2008. Do you guys want to take a guess which was the highest grossing film of 2008?
मैं हूँ ना?
No.
No.
That was way earlier.
Yeah.
It did have one of the big three Khans in it.
Tare Zameen Par.
No.
That was 2007.
2008 only, but Tare Zameen Par was not the highest grossing.
सलमान खान की है क्या?
No.
शाहरुख खान तो हाँ I think it is जब रब ने बना दी जोड़ी.
It's one of those movies which we don't talk about anymore, but it was huge when it came out.
रब ने बना दी जोड़ी.
No.
No.
रब ने बना दी जोड़ी was the second highest.
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
3 Idiots नहीं.
Okay, I'll give you another hint. It was a remake of a South Indian film.
What?
Huge when it came out. No.
Okay.
Tera Naam also came way early.
Yeah. Huge when it came out, but we almost non-existent now. The songs were kind of famous. Okay, A.R. Rahman gave the music.
They are not helpful. What the fuck?
A.R. Rahman gave a lot of music.
This is how Abbas's hints sound like this. कि वो movie मेरा director था.
हाँ.
I gave you Khan, South Indian remake. A.R. Rahman gave the music.
ऐसे यार.
Okay, the heroine. It was the heroine's debut movie.
Oh, Om Shanti Om.
No.
Oh shit. Savarya?
No.
That was Hero's debut movie.
It was also 2006.
Oh shit.
It was Ghajni.
The
highest grossing
भाई.
Correct, yeah.
Imagine मैं यार 15th guess भी गजनी नहीं कर
Bro,
पाती.
we Ghajni lower Ghajni. But I was really impacted by Gajani. I loved that whole scene where they crack a skull open. It's beautiful done.
And also like I remember,
Beautifully done.
As in like it makes you feel.
I thought you were
things.
going to say traumatized by it.
एक तो वो लौड़ी ने phone बंद नहीं किया. I keep my phone on silent always because if something like this happens where I'm being stalked and my phone starts ringing, I know my partner will call it the worst time obviously. So I just don't want to deal with that situation.
imagine
Put your phone on silent.
You are getting stalked and my partner is like, "Bindi lana hai."
Yeah, it's like, are you done? Samosa लेके आना घर पे आते हो.
9 nominations at the Filmfare Award. So the film was a big hit. Got good reviews. A lot of film reviewers actually called it progressive. There was only Raja Sen who actually pointed out that this is a film which will actually take us more regressive. I actually read out what he said.
Is Raja Sen
A reviewer.
no, is he a reviewer?
Yeah, he
he's
used to
a
write for
reviewer?
Rediff.
Is he a homosexual?
No, he's not.
No, but he's one of the good reviewers where he would say what's what. Yeah.
So
Very
he
nice
wrote,
then.
quote,
More props to him
we in
then.
India haven't yet matured to sensitive normalized portrayals of homosexuality, and this film continues to paint them as freaks of nature.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which I think was true. But
Yeah.
it's not a bad film. It's a watchable film. But I think that, it has its very, very glaring issues.
Yeah.
And any last opinions about those?
My only problem with the whole thing is that वो time पे हम Western movies से इतने ज़्यादा influence नहीं था. At least majority India was not watching Hollywood. इतना नहीं देख रहे थे. मैं majority I mean मैं नहीं देख रही थी मतलब majority नहीं देख रहा था. Because
Wow, Urjita. I am the country.
no. But no, in general इतना बात नहीं हो रहा था.
Sure,
Hollywood
yeah.
के नाम पे हैरी पॉटर ही सबको पता था. So उतना हम expose नहीं थे उस culture से. So which is why I understand people liking that movie during that time. अभी ऐसा कुछ आया तो enjoy नहीं करेंगे. But Abhishek Bachchan and John Abraham ये लोग तो थे ना exposed उस culture से. So why did you guys, taking all that knowledge, agree to do something
Exactly.
like
Like so, as I was saying, I watching after watching the Romantics, it becomes so obvious that they were making movies for NRI Indians, right? Like they're clearly making NRI Indians. So they're making movies for them, but like लगे हाथ अगर इंडिया में ऐसा चल गया तो चल गया. You know, that was that whole diaspora is what they were making movies for. So उनके सारे बच्चे अमेरिका पढ़ने गए, उनको तभी कल्चर का एक्सपोजर नहीं था. So when they come back equally dumb over.
Exactly.
So it's just like Bollywood is they're so okay with normalizing this कि चलते आ रहा है चलता रहेगा, and then the three families that control the entire thing will have their own little thing. So I think of course things have changed for the better now. Independent cinema,
But not because of these mainstream boys.
not because
That's the only problem.
I still think if a movie like this came out today, it'll still be a hit.
Yeah, but at what cost? Like then at least now the reviewers won't be like, oh, it was progressive.
Maybe, yeah,
now
true.
everybody will be like back in 2008, like we were not like 2009 was when the High Court verdict happened about 377, which was overturned in 2013, which then 2018 we got the rights back.
Correct.
So in that 10-year gap only, like you can imagine how much we had not progressed at all.
Right.
So they shot the movie in 2006-07 and then released in 2008, right?
Yeah.
So no, they shot in the beginning of 2008 actually. So by the end of the movie, another year the movie was out, but we had still not achieved any kind of recognition as a queer community back then because it was not vocal. But now everybody is vocal. So that movie won't work by the sheer virtue of us calling it out over and over again, you know?
Yeah.
If I had to give one more last pro,
Yeah.
I should have mentioned this earlier. I really like the songs of the movie.
Yeah, the music is really good.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
that Madha Ladla, I hate that
Madha
song.
Ladla remix was way better than
Yeah.
other songs of the movie. I liked it more than
Because they
Desi
started
Girl.
gay, Munda Sad, gay, Munda Sad, gay. That's what they do. Fucking.
Even
But,
that song Kuch Kam, that sad song they play.
Oh yeah, that's very nice. Yeah. It
I
was
don't
a
remember
big
the
shout
title.
out to the daily soaps of that time. Dil Mil Gaye, Mile Jab Hum Tum, उसमें वो ये काफी बार बजाते थे.
Oh really?
गाना, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And even the Shut Up and Bounce, which starts.
Yeah,
from the
Shilpa
Yeah.
Shilpa Shetty
कोई
doing
भी
a...
hot लड़की आती थी, shut up and bounce baby bounce, और just the music, वो बजाते थे.
Yeah.
इतना.
So Urjita, you have thirsted over John Abraham previously also on this show when he
John,
comes out
but
in a
I
yellow
was
trunks.
completely put off by his acting in this one.
Yeah.
It's like John Abraham, how hot do you have to be for people to ignore your acting and dance?
And it's very submissive in these like roles. Like he plays the macho
Yeah,
guy. That's one gay thing that he did. I feel that even though he's a macho dude, like even if you watch Garam Masala or this one, he's always like कि अक्षय कुमार जो बोल रहा है मैं वो करूँगा.
Exactly.
Really, Abhishek Bachchan is leading the entire narrative. तू करेगा? हाँ मैं करूँगा. तो थोड़ा lead लेना life में. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
That's why we are the minority. John, get your act together. Did I tell you? I have a fun story. Okay, John Abraham's mom was once like put on blast by a priest at a meeting.
Okay, why?
Because he was not giving money to us. We were doing a youth festival and we were like, hey, we're Christians, so like, and John Abraham's mom was like, I'll give maybe, let me ask John, and John was like, no.
Oh, shit.
So he put it on so we're having the meeting, and then, what were you saying? And John's mom, Mr. Abraham, what are you saying?
Wow.
It's like Coffee with Karan. Go dial a famous person that you know.
So
Did he give some money finally?
But yeah, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So sorry, man, I forgot. I also had points.
Go ahead.
This is a question, more of a question. Ki Abhishek is supposed to be the more effeminate one between the two. I wanted to ask why this choice? Why couldn't both be effeminate? Like go all in. No, like why just one then?
No, I
Why
think
do you
so.
think?
So when they ham it up, they both do it. Like like there's no clear
It's
indication.
just that John is such a bad actor. We don't see the effeminate nature in his acting.
Yeah. So at one point, like he's standing like this, and then when the other guy comes, he does this. Okay, his hand does this, and I'm like, okay. And then like immediately the next scene he drops it. I'm like, at least can carry that fucking narrative character wise. Nahin. But that would mean you have to act.
Yeah,
That's
Kirron
nice.
Kher is very funny in the movie.
Yeah,
मैं
she's
उसके
funny.
एक डायलॉग पे इतना हंसी में रिवाइंड कर करके सुन रही थी. ये पीली कमीज वाले अंकल ने मेरे बच्चे के पीछे पड़ गया है.
Referring to Boman. Irani.
Yeah, oh fuck, very funny.
I'm actually surprised that you liked Boman's character because I thought he was way too over the top as a caricature.
But then I know those people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like his
Fair
was
enough.
so what like Abhishek and they were doing when they were hamming it up is the over the top thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That but then character choice wise, you see that this person has like lived a life and like has had like crushes in the past, but then is found to be where he is. These are nuances that I picked up from his
Okay.
character.
Okay.
Yeah,
only.
and Boman का पूरा like शक्ल से लेके eyes तक everything he was in that role.
Yeah.
And Abhishek Bachchan was more like कि award show time पे randomly तुमको चिट्ठी में जो करने को बताया जाए उनका वैसा वाला acting लग
एकदम
रहा
शरीर
था.
खेल रहा है वो character
Yeah.
के साथ. But then like even when he's saying कि like when he's holding Kirron Kher, it's like कि आंटी जी आपको accept करना पड़ेगा आपका
Of
बेटा
course.
गे है. So that
That's
comes from a point of
comedic effect, yes.
comedic effect,
Yeah,
but then from
yeah.
a man who's like lived 40 years of his life in the
Sure.
possibly
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
fought.
yeah.
So I think I picked up on these little things, and I was
Yeah.
watching it again because of course first impression was like ये क्या कर रहे हैं लोग.
Exactly,
But I
yeah.
think he did an informed choice. Like
Okay.
every actor has to inform how their character fucking behaves, and then they remove the character entirely. He never comes back.
Exactly,
Yeah.
The only decent character, like both decent characters, Boman Irani and
Kirron
Kirron Kher, within the first 45 1 hour
Are
they're
done with,
done
yeah.
with,
Yeah.
and then you're left with that fucking garbage.
Exactly,
pile.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the
yeah.
thing is, because they are doing this whole Devil Wears Prada thing,
Yeah.
it reminded me of the Stanley Tucci character from that
Yeah.
movie. And I'm like, that is like the perfectly
So
well done
nuanced, yeah.
gay character. Have you seen Devil Wears Prada?
No.
Okay.
No. But I've
So
heard a
you
lot
watch it.
about it. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
called Cerulean. Just watch
Yeah.
that. It's my favorite movie. from them.
All right, let's do the rating. So, Urjita, on a rewatchability scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Dostana? 1 being, oh my god, product of its time, hasn't aged well. 10 being,
One is the product of its time. No, फिर तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं. -1. Very, I hated that. Man, first half I was still like trying to be on board with them, but second half they completely lost me.
Not
First
even-
half, maybe the worst thing about the first half was that random throwaway joke where Priyanka Chopra जब भी वो उनकी story सुनती है, she's like, oh my god, that's so sweet. And then this उसकी auntie is like, मिठा है. I was like, oh man.
That even I picked up. And I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
like shit, no. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Naveen?
Yeah, as I said, like there are two different movies happening in this movie, which they had, if they'd committed to one aspect of like, okay, the queer personality thing, that would have worked for them. But then I think the movie got the Filmfare for that year, right?
Yeah.
So we lost in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
In terms of rewatchability, I'll give it a 5. Watch it
Okay.
again just to know exactly how far back we were and then how far we've come now. So if
Yeah.
there are queer people making films now, go support them to understand why they are doing it because
Right.
because
Yeah.
that's what matters, right?
Yeah.
Don't let these Tarun Mansukanis and Karan Johars decide what your your topic of interest is going to make you feel like essentially.
Right.
And if any of these actors try to ride on the LGBTQ community flag again, like
Yeah.
कि, oh guys, we should support, just be like, नहीं आपने दोस्ताना की थी.
Yeah,
I'm
if you-
particularly pointing towards just one actor.
Yeah.
from
And if you
the
want to ride,
cast.
then we'll have a thick ass dildo you can ride on. So then
Yeah.
yeah. बड़ा शौक है ना गे बनने का.
I found this review on Letterboxd which I thought was very funny. It said homophobic but in a progressive way. I would give the film a 4. I
Wow,
think it's
why?
watchable, but it has a lot of problems, and the music, like you mentioned,
Yeah, the
is
music is
really
really good.
तुझे 4 देना है
and
तो अभी
if
देखना
I
movie.
as the only straight man on this panel, Priyanka Chopra is hot as fuck
Oh,
throughout
yeah.
the film.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
She is, she
for,
is,
For that,
yeah.
I would give it.
Shilpa Shetty was also very hot.
Yeah, but she's only
Man.
there for one song.
But she can't dance.
I don't know. I've never really found.
You know, like she like shut up and bounce. ऐसे कर रही है वो. She's like, just bounce, na bitch. Just like we do yoga. What the fuck? We don't do yoga.
Yeah.
What's the
But
point?
she's very hot.
Okay,
Fine,
cool.
Urjita.
Urjita's
It's
dormant feelings are coming out.
After thirsting on.
Maybe
John
this
Abraham.
podcast had a therapeutic effect after all.
Naveen, thank you so much for taking time out and doing this.
Yeah, I'm so excited we finally got to do this. And I've been like, I think this is like a 15 years ka suppressed angst I've been sitting on, and I finally got to
Yeah.
talk about. And no better show than this, I guess.
Oh.
You know?
How long before you think a mainstream Bollywood actor in a mainstream movie does a full-on mouth-to-mouth kiss with another guy?
I think we're not far away. Like 5 more years. Like we've already like gotten some really good ones. Like even Rajkumar.
Ayushman Khurrana did a mouth-to-mouth kiss.
But then
in,
again, Ayushman does it for the brownie points.
Brownie
like you
points,
said,
yeah.
तो तुमको क्या
So
फर्क
I'm not
पड़ता है?
denying that it.
ये क्या he did it for the
मैं
brownie
बोल रहा हूँ
points.
like a Hrithik
अरे वही-
Roshan or a Shah Rukh Khan or
Are you-
like these
are you
really
not
mean-
calling
But I
him
don't
a
want to see them
mainstream?
kiss, man. Like that's the whole point. Like they've done that due, right?
Sure,
Like they've
yeah.
chocolate boy image inka ye ladies boy ladki. Like I used to have Hrithik posters also in my house, but I've moved on from that to know that like these are not my role models. So I want to see a queer actor only do that queer
Fair
role. You know,
enough, yeah.
like now when I watch Class and these young queer actors are now making out.
Yeah.
That's a good. Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Class
yeah.
ka scene is so nice. They're intimate. They're cozy. The camera lingers on their body movements and not just like their sexual organs,
Correct,
right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think is yeah.
Nice.
important.
Okay, cool. All right, that brings us to the end of this episode. Audio listeners, do stick around for the alternate ending segment. Naveen, anything you want to plug? Where can people find you on social media?
I'm House of Noronha, and as of now, I'm planning my tour. So if you are in different cities in India, check it out. I'm planning my travel.
So this comes out in the 3rd week of March. Will your
yeah,
tour be
yeah,
already?
it begins on 18th of March.
Nice.
So yeah,
Okay.
perfect timing.
Nice. Urjita?
Guys, my name is Urjita and I don't know why I started with that, but you can follow me on Instagram @UrjitaVani. You can also follow me on Twitter @VaniUrjita, and also you can start subscribing to my channel for
Whoa.
stand-up videos.
Yeah,
Videos
and for
gonna
Shilpa
come
Shetty
out.
trivia.
Yeah.
And my name is Abbas. You can follow me on Twitter @AbbasMomin and AbbasMomin88 on Instagram. Thank you, Naveen. Thank you, Urjita. Thank you for tuning into this episode. One last time, watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, like, press the bell icon if you're listening to this.
Turn your phone off. How about
Yeah, my alarm is ringing if you're listening to this on an audio
you should set an
platform.
alarm for now when the show ends to wake up.
फोन में बेल आइकन दबा दिया.
अगर ऑडियो पे सुन रहे हो तो रिव्यू करो Spotify पे, Apple Podcast पे, और stay tuned for the alternate ending episode. For the video viewers, we will take your leave at this point. Thank you and bye-bye.